We have some student loan news today and an update from Congress. A few people have thrown their names into the race to be the next House Speaker. We also have a new study on the Georgia drawl. I'm Jeff Pierre, and this is The 7 from The Washington Post. Today is Thursday, October 5th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Our first story this morning. The race to become the next House Speaker has begun. Majority Leader Steve Scalise and firebrand conservative Jim Jordan both announced yesterday that they would be running to replace Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy was removed from the job on Tuesday, the first time that this has happened to a House Speaker in U.S. history. And there's pressure to get a new Speaker fast. House business is at a standstill, and the new deadline for a government shutdown is getting closer. That's on November 17th. Lawmakers may vote on a new Speaker as soon as next Wednesday. But there's concern about what all of this means for the country's future. Historians and political scientists say McCarthy's unprecedented removal is a warning sign that American democracy is in trouble. For number 2, we have some more news from the chaos on Capitol Hill. The turmoil in Congress could impact aid for Ukraine. President Biden said yesterday he plans to deliver a major speech arguing for more aid for Ukraine. A bill to keep the government open passed over the weekend without funding for Ukraine. Ukraine is struggling to retake territory from Russia and wants more U.S. help. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that any pause in funding would help Russia. But some Republicans have started to question the mounting expense. Biden announced $9 billion more in student loan forgiveness. That's story number 3. This new round of debt cancellation was announced yesterday. It affects 125,000 borrowers who are eligible for 3 existing federal relief programs. Biden spoke about the new relief program during a briefing at the White House.
This kind of relief is life-changing for individuals and their families, but it's good for our economy as a whole as well. By freeing millions of Americans from the crushing burden of student debt, it means they can go and get their lives in order. They can think about buying a house. They can start a business. They can be starting a family. This matters. It matters in their daily lives.
In total, the Biden administration says its policy changes have resulted in nearly 3.6 million borrowers being approved for $127 billion in debt cancellation. The president's original plan to forgive up to $20,000 in federal student loans for millions of borrowers was struck down by the Supreme Court in June. The latest action comes at an important time. Millions of people with federal student loans resumed debt payments this month after a 3-year pause because of the coronavirus pandemic. At number 4, scientists discovered how dozens of genes may contribute to autism. This finding came while researchers were simulating brain development in a lab dish. According to a new study, they found specific genes that interfere with key steps in the brain's development that could lead to autism. This could be an important discovery. It may eventually pave the way for treatments that allow these phases of brain development to happen without any interference. Autism is a spectrum of disorders that affects about 1 in every 36 Americans. It can impair the ability to communicate and interact with others. Number 5 is another study. Climate change is driving frogs and other amphibians to extinction. Scientists found that between 2004 and 2022, rising temperatures became the main reason that more than 100 amphibian species are slipping toward extinction. That's bad news, and not just for frogs. Amphibians make up a crucial part of the food chain. And there's a reason they're so vulnerable to climate change. These soft-skinned animals lack the scales, fur, or feathers that help other animals regulate their temperature and moisture levels. And they're also facing the spread of disease and the destruction of their habitats.
7 in a row. It's an enormous number, and so is that score on floor. 15.166 for Simone Biles, and the United States of America is back at the top.
The U.S. women won the team title at the World Gymnastics Championship. That is our 6th story this morning. The team was led by Simone Biles and had to weather several mistakes and an injury, but it did enough to finish at the top of the podium in Belgium yesterday. It was an unprecedented 7th straight team title for the team at the World Championships. The streak began in 2011 and now includes 5 squads led by Biles. Tomorrow, Biles is favored to win a 6th all-around title. And at number 7, the Georgia drawl is fading away. You know the drawl that I'm talking about. The distinctive Southern gives words that extra vowel sound. So think bite for beat or bait for bait. And apologies to all my Georgians out there. Over time, that trademark accent has been fading away among younger Georgians. That is according to a new study. The drawl is being replaced with a more Californian-style accent among white Georgians. The researchers plan to study the accents of Black Georgians next to see if there's a similar trend. The reason this is happening is all down to a wave of migration to Georgia and other Sunbelt states after World War II. It means that Gen X kids went to school with a wide range of accents from around the country, leading to shorter-sounding vowels. So now younger Georgians are sounding a lot different than older folks. All right, you're all caught up. But before you go, if you can't get enough of the ongoing drama in the House, check out our afternoon podcast, Post Reports. On the most recent episode, my colleagues went deep on the brief and tumultuous tenure of the ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Look for Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Jeff Pierre, and I will meet you back here tomorrow.